Hello everybody and welcome to What the Talk with Dr. Anu. Hello, and let's get into today's topic, 5 lessons for life from the lesser known facts from Mahabharata. For this, you and me need to fasten our seat belts and get into the time travel mode. Let's begin the topic. For the world, Mahabharata is an epic, but for us Indians, we know that it's a history where a great world war was fought and many countries including Greece, Rome, Egypt were involved along with the then Akhanda Bharat. Many stories, folklores and tales swim and float around Mahabharata, and the authenticity of most of the tales is also not so very promising. However, there are many stories and unknown facts and lesser known pointers are hidden in the Mahabharata. It is estimated that about 8,800 verses are still not decoded. That was how difficult the Sanskrit was at that time, and that was also written in a very secret mode according to most of the scholars who are unable to decipher what was written through the verses. What made me get interested into this whole podcast was the fact that there are many small hidden facts in Mahabharata which teach us rich lessons in life. So let's get going. The first lesson to learn from Mahabharata is to be on the right side. This is very important, listeners, because the whole story of Mahabharata revolves around dharma, and it is said that even in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, as given by Lord Sri Krishna, the first word is mama, meaning my, and the last word is dharma, meaning duty, and combined it means my duty. The essence of Mahabharata is Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and the essence of Srimad Bhagavad Gita is for every human being to do his duty according to his dharma. It is futile for a human being to be very efficient but to be on the wrong side. It is like you are embarking on a journey in the opposite direction, and however efficient you are, you would never reach your destination. The best example that you can have from Mahabharata, which many of us do not know, is the fact that all 100 Kauravas were not killed. There was one who survived the war and lived on, and his name is Yuyutsu. Yuyutsu was one amongst the 100 Kauravas, but he was not killed because as the relationship between Pandavas and Kauravas deteriorated, Yuyutsu was the one person who always thought of what was right and what was wrong, and he decided that whatever his brothers were doing against the Pandavas was not only wrong but also was unjustified. So as a result of which he several times inquired and also protested against what was happening, and in the end chose to fight the war from the side of the Pandavas, as a result of which he was the only Kaurava who lived on, while all the other 99 brothers were killed by the Pandavas led by Lord Sri Krishna. Dear friends, we might get momentary victories over what we do in an unlawful and unjust way, but it is not going to be permanent. Sooner or later, truth will prevail and the unjust would be punished. So remember, be always on the right side. The second life lesson that we learn from Mahabharata, at least what I see when I go through Mahabharata, is it is the deservance of a human being that begets him what he deserves, and not just the desire to hold a position or cultivate relationships or gain love from the others. This is evident through the entire character of Karna. I have seen time and again that many people are moved by the character of Karna, the kind of rejection he faces, the pain he bears, and the discrimination that he suffered because of who he was. But many fail to also notice that all this was nothing but a manifestation of his own inner thoughts. Yes, because whenever you look at the character of Karna, you cannot understand him in isolation. You have to actually pit his character against the rest of the characters, and in relationship with them, if you understand the personality of Karna, then you will find that despite being the greatest warrior of Mahabharata, despite being large-hearted person who always believed in charity, so much so that he acquired the name Danakarna, but at the same time he was never respected nor revered by any of the great elders like Bhishma Pitamaha, because his inner thoughts were as evil. Very few know that the actual culprit who was responsible for the doom of Duryodhana is none other than Karna. I know that most of us think that it is his uncle, maternal uncle Shakuni, but at the same time Karna was no less. Many of us do not know, and it was even shocking for me when I read Mahabharata, that it was actually Karna who suggested disrobing of Draupadi, and it was not Duryodhana. Duryodhana had pride, but he never insulted anybody, because for him, insulting somebody was ultimate sacrilege, which he would not bear and would never do that upon others. But it was Karna who slowly infused and injected this kind of an evil thought into Duryodhana, that insulting others would bring him more pride and it would satisfy his ego. When Draupadi was summoned to the Sabha by Duryodhana, she actually refused to come because she was not in a condition to come. Thrice a sentry was sent to summon her, and finally Dushasan went to collect her, and it was Karna who suggested that she must be disrobed, and it was also Karna who badmouthed Draupadi. So no matter how great a warrior Karna was, no matter how discriminated he was, he kept his grudge, and then his heart was full of evil thoughts, and that's how he never could achieve anything that he wanted. By being on the side of his rich, wealthy and powerful friend, he thought he could gain on what all he has lost: his family, his brothers, a position and status in the society, and a title which would have never been conferred upon him because he did not belong to a warrior clan. But what happened actually was he lost all his pride, he lost all his respect, because none of the people from the court in Mahabharata actually recognized Karna neither as a warrior, nor as a prince, nor as a member of the warrior clan, and it was only because the crowned prince was by his side that people used to actually acknowledge him. They never accepted him in the end. That is how Karna always wanted to be a part of the bigger picture, wanted to have warmth, love, respect and dignity, and he lost all of them because he did not understand one simple reason, that he was not deserving in them, not because of his clan or birth or whatever, but because of the fact that his desires did not match his deservings. His thoughts were not pure and were not righteous, and that's how he was denied everything else by the universe. So friends, remember, whenever you fail, do not blame others, but first check on your deservings as to whether you deserve something or not. And even after that, if you find that you have been wronged, I think you must also check about your surroundings and which place or whom you are supporting or in which camp you are, so that maybe you being really right and just and deserving after all might just be in the wrong camp. So this brings us to the end of the second lesson.